When Nature Turns Deadly, True Crime Tales of Animal Attacks Part 1. The Bear Who Waited. The night that changed Alaska forever was supposed to be the adventure of a lifetime. In the summer of 2017, three friends Mike, Hannah, and Travis set off on a week-long camping trip deep into the Alaskan wilderness. They were experienced hikers, prepared, equipped, and confident. But what they didn't know was that a silent predator was watching them. 4 days they had pitched their tent near a freshwater stream. It was perfect. On the fourth night, just before midnight, Hannah was the first to hear it. The sound of something large brushing against the tent. At first she thought it was Travis going out to relieve himself, but when she whispered his name, there was no answer. Then the tent collapsed. The bear didn't growl. It didn't roar. It simply attacked. What unfolded over the next 5 minutes was a brutal and calculated ambush. Mike later told authorities that the grizzly had waited for the right moment when they were all inside the tent, vulnerable. Only 2 of them made it out alive. Travis, the one who had packed the food improperly, became the first target. What puzzled investigators was how the bear had stalked them for days. Experts later confirmed the bear had tracked their scent from a campsite nearly 6 miles away. Part 2. Whispers of the Jungle. The Temple of Death in the dense, humid heart of Kerala, India. There lies a centuries-old Hindu temple known for its beauty and its curse. Locals say the temple is protected by Gan. Others claim something darker guards it. Between 2003 and 2009, 7 mysterious deaths occurred around the temple grounds. All victims were found trampled, crushed, or gored, and all incidents were initially dismissed as tragic accidents involving wild elephants. But what disturbed investigators was the pattern. Each victim had either been involved in land disputes with the temple, or shockingly had profited from illegal ivory trade. One night, CCTV installed by a local wildlife officer caught something terrifying: a fully grown tusker standing motionless near the shrine for over 3 hours. Unmoving, it didn't feed, it didn't blink. Then, just before dawn, it charged at a guard who had tried to shoo it away. That guard never went home. When researchers studied the elephant, they found scarring, bullet wounds, and evidence that it had been previously captured and abused. The theory: this elephant remembered. Elephants, as science confirms, have extraordinary memories, and sometimes they don't forgive. Part 3. The Snake in the Crib. A Florida horror. It began with a Craigslist ad. A man in Florida was giving away an albino Burmese python nearly 14 feet long. The new owner, a 25-year-old reptile enthusiast named Kevin, brought it home without a proper enclosure. He let it roam free but supervised in his apartment. A few weeks later, Kevin's sister visited with her 2-year-old daughter, Mia. She laid the child down for a nap in the guest room. By the time she checked on Mia again, it was too late. The snake had slithered through the vents. Attracted by warmth and movement, it entered the crib and constricted her before anyone noticed a thing. The autopsy confirmed asphyxiation. Mia had no bite marks. The python had never meant to kill, only to hug. In court, Kevin claimed he had bonded with the animal. He didn't believe it could hurt anyone. But nature doesn't love you back. The case led to a change in Florida's reptile ownership laws. Part 4. The Lion's Last Roar. Filming gone wrong in South Africa. Martin Ulrich was a nature filmmaker with National Geographic. In 2011, he set out to make the most intimate lion documentary ever filmed. He got what he wanted. Using a specially built cage car that he could drive inside, Martin entered a pride's territory near Kruger National Park. The lions grew used to the vehicle. They ignored it until one day. They didn't. Camera footage recovered from the site showed Martin stepping halfway out of the car to fix a stuck camera mount. A young male lion rushed in and grabbed him by the leg. The camera kept rolling. Martin didn't die immediately. His screams, desperate, primal, echoed across the savannah. The lion didn't drag him. It sat beside him, holding him like prey but not feeding. Experts later claimed this was disciplinary behavior seen when lions feel threatened in their routine. The pride had accepted the vehicle but not the man. Part 5. Blue Rings of Death. The ocean's smallest killer. Australia's beaches are famous for their beauty and infamous for their dangers. Most people fear sharks or jellyfish, but few know about the blue-ringed octopus, a creature no larger than a golf ball. Its bite is painless. Its venom is 1,200 times more powerful than cyanide, and it gives no warning. In 2018, a tourist named James picked up what he thought was a beautiful shell while snorkeling in Sydney. He placed it in his pocket. 15 minutes later, back at shore, he collapsed. Paramedics arrived, puzzled, no wounds, no allergic reaction, but within an hour, James was dead. Only after a marine biologist reviewed his belongings was the culprit discovered. The shell he picked up was the home of a lethal octopus. The creature had bitten him through his wetsuit. The venom paralyzed his diaphragm. He suffocated while fully conscious. The last thing he said to his girlfriend: "I can't feel my lungs." Part 6. The Eyes in the Snow. The Wolf Pack of Manitoba. Winter 2014. Northern Manitoba, Canada. A group of students on a wilderness survival trip set up camp near a frozen lake. Their guides assured them the area was safe, no bear activity, no cougar sightings. What they didn't know: a small pack of gray wolves had been tracking them since dusk. Wolves rarely attack humans. In fact, documented attacks are extremely rare. But that night, it happened. One of the students, 17-year-old Sophie, left her tent alone to use the bathroom, flashlight in hand. She never came back. What the rescue team found days later defied logic. The wolves hadn't eaten her. They had surrounded her, torn her jacket and left her there, in the snow, as if to send a message. Investigators believed Sophie had unknowingly mimicked an injured animal's posture while crouching, triggering a territorial response, but some locals say it was spiritual retribution. The wolves, guardians of the forest, punishing outsiders for disrespecting the land. Her flashlight was still on. Part 7. The crocodile that waited. Cambodia's river ghost. In the rural wetlands of Cambodia, near the Mekong River, strange disappearances began occurring in 2010. Children vanished while playing. Fishermen were dragged from their boats, all near the same bend in the river. A massive saltwater crocodile estimated at 6 meters long. But this wasn't just any croc. Locals believed it to be the spirit of a poacher who had been devoured by crocodiles decades earlier, reborn in rage. What gave this story fuel was chilling. The villagers claimed the crocodile would surface at funerals, silently watching from the riverbank. Then came the video. A grieving father left a camera pointed at the river after his son drowned. In the footage, a massive croc glided silently past, then turned to face the camera and didn't move for 6 minutes. Wildlife officials attempted to capture it, but traps were avoided. Bait was ignored. Even gunshots didn't scare it away. To this day, they call it the Silent Reaper. Part 8. The Subway Monkeys. Japan's urban nightmare. Tokyo, 2019. A troop of Japanese macaques escapes from a private research facility during a major earthquake. At first, no one noticed. Then passengers on the Yamanote Line subway began reporting strange sightings. Red faces staring through train windows, claw marks on vending machines, bags stolen at lightning speed. In 3 weeks, the troop had completely adapted to city life, living on rooftops, navigating the transit system, and even opening automatic doors. One commuter was hospitalized after being scratched while trying to retrieve his lunch. Another woman claimed a monkey followed her home, watched her for hours through the window, then vanished. What made the situation alarming was their organized behavior. The alpha male was caught using traffic lights to guide the troop's movement. They would wait until pedestrian crossings turned red before charging across intersections. When finally recaptured, they showed signs of cognitive stress but also problem-solving intelligence never before recorded. Tokyo Metro banned primates from all underground stations after that, just in case. Part 9. The Raccoon Trap. A Fatal Curiosity. Cleveland, 2021. In a quiet suburb, a garbage collector opens a dumpster and screams. Inside are 4 mutilated bodies, 2 men, 2 women. No signs of forced entry. All seemingly attacked while asleep. The only witness, a gas station camera pointing toward the alley. What it showed was unexpected. Hours before the bodies were discovered, a raccoon had entered the dumpster, then another, then 6 more. They moved together, opening trash bags, ignoring food and zeroing in on a large suitcase. For 10 minutes, they clawed, chewed, and worked together. The victims had overdosed inside the dumpster, hiding from cold. The raccoons, sensing warmth, viewed them as a threat or prey. Autopsies later revealed bite marks, not from a dog, but multiple raccoons. Flesh removed post-mortem. Scientists debated, was this aggression or adaptation? Urban raccoons are becoming smarter, more fearless, and sometimes Part 10. The Final Roar. Closing the case across every story. One pattern emerges. Animals don't kill out of evil. They kill out of instinct. But when their environments are invaded, when they are abused, tormented, or corrupted, something changes. They remember, they adapt, and sometimes they strike back. Whether it's an elephant seeking revenge, a raccoon breaking evolutionary rules, or a snake that hugs too hard, these creatures are not monsters, they are survivors. But when human arrogance crosses nature's limits, true crime isn't just for people anymore.